Hello students, in our earlier lecture we covered in this chapter transport of food and minerals in plants the basic concepts of what is diffusion and what is osmosis. Whether it is the small microorganisms, the larger plants, trees or in animals, these two processes of diffusion and osmosis takes place for the movement of the different materials. Today we will be looking specifically on the transport system in plants, which includes the xylem and phloem. Okay, we will also look into what is transpiration. When we take a section of the stem of a plant and observe under the microscope, we'll be able to observe these kind of structures. Okay, on further magnifying we will see that there are nothing but some kind of pipe type of a system. Just like in the human body we have the blood vessels, similarly there are some vessels, some kind of transport systems present in the plant which help in the transport of water and minerals as well as in the transport of food. So the part of this transport system which transports the water and minerals is known as a xylem, and the part of the transport system material is known as the phloem. Let us look into the characteristics of xylem. Okay, so xylem is involved in the transport of water and minerals. Okay, so xylem is a tissue. Okay, it is made up of the different types of other similar kind of tissues. Okay, together we call it as the total xylem transport system. This includes the xylem vessels, tracheids, xylem fibers and xylem parenchyma. Okay, so all these four types of xylem tissue form the what we call in single term the xylem tissue. Okay, there are the different types of xylem. Xylem vessels, tracheids and xylem fibers. Three of these are non-living tissues. Okay, they are not living tissues, they are non-living tissues. Only xylem parenchyma is the living. Okay, now let us see in a cross section of the stem how does the xylem tissue look like. Okay, so this is a diagrammatic representation of how the xylem tissue looks like. This portion, okay, this portion which looks like half pipe is cut into half. Okay, these ones, these all, they are known as the tracheids. Okay, these tracheids. Whereas this broader pipe system is known as the vessels. Okay, xylem vessels. Now one obvious difference you are able to observe between the tracheids and vessels is that in the tracheids there are the cross walls. You see, these are the cross walls. That means one pipe, another pipe. Both of these pipes are separated by some kind of partition. Okay, they have some kind of partition, and also it has some holes are there in this one, right? Some holes are there in this one. This is different from the xylem vessel, you see, which is a continuous. Does it have any cross walls? Does it have any partition? No partition. It is a continuous system. Okay. So xylem vessel is a continuous channel. Xylem vessel is a continuous channel. You know very well the function of the xylem is the transport of water and minerals from the roots to the other parts of the plant. So what is happening? The water and minerals will be moving in a single direction. It never goes in both direction, up and down. Only single direction flow of the water and minerals is taking place from the roots to the other parts of the plant. Okay, this is a continuous. But tracheids, these are also transporting the water and minerals. Okay, tracheids, the water travels through pits only. Okay, what are pits? What you are seeing, these holes, right? These hole like structures, these are pores. These pores are known as pits. Okay, they are known as pits. So what is happening is the water and minerals will diffuse through these pits into the adjoining cells, either this way, laterally, or from here to here. Okay, rather from here to here. Okay, so in this way, whereas the vessel is a continuous system of the flow of the water and minerals, tracheids is a discontinuous flow of the water and minerals. Okay. The other thing that we are observing is that the cell wall is very thick. You see, we are showing these walls are very thick. They are not thin cell walls because they have the deposition of a chemical substance known as lignin. Okay. So what this lignin does, it provides extra support to the cell wall. It makes it much more strong. Okay. So this lignin will be deposited on the cell wall. Therefore, the cell wall will also become very thick. So the tracheids, vessels, as well as the fibers. Okay, fibers provide the mechanical strength. Okay, so all three of these are non-living kind of xylem tissue. But xylem parenchyma is living. So what we are writing here, a ground tissue, basically xylem parenchyma. You see there is the nucleus in the cell. There is the nucleus. So any living cell will have the nucleus. Except some exceptions are there. For example, RBC in the humans, does it mature RBC in the humans, does it have the nucleus? Does not have the nucleus. Okay. So these xylem vessels, tracheids and fibers, they don't have the nucleus. Okay, but the xylem parenchyma is living, it has the nucleus. Okay, so how this water is transporting from the roots to the other parts of the plant? It is transporting via root pressure and transpiration pull. Okay, root pressure we have discussed in our previous class. Okay, by the process of osmosis, the root hairs are taking the water from the soil. Okay, so that how it is going, the water is absorbed by the root hairs by the process of diffusion or osmosis, by osmosis. Okay, so the root pressure, the pressure it is able to generate is not sufficient for the water to go up to the leaf and stem. It will go only up to a small height. Okay. After that, what comes into the picture? The transpiration pull. Okay. We will see in the further slides what is transpiration. Okay. From the leaves, whatever the water is evaporating, okay, that is the transpiration, and because of that negative pressure, it will pull the water upwards. We will see in detail. So the main factor that is causing the transport of the water and minerals from the roots to the upper parts of the plants is transpiration pull. Okay. So if you look much more finer into the structure of the vessels and tracheids, okay, we need to focus more. These two are the more important, vessel and tracheids. Okay. You see, this is the tracheid and this is the vessel, the structure. Okay, if you look a single, like here we saw no vessel is the continuous system. So here when we are seeing, you see this is the vessel, it is a very much more broad pipe, right? This is also broad pipe. This is a narrow pipe. Tracheids are narrow pipe. The ends of these pipes are also falling, become very narrow. Okay. That is why you get this kind of a cross section, like this lateral cross section kind of structure. And you see there are the pits. Okay, there are the pits. Through these pits the water and minerals are going to exchange with the surroundings. But here what is happening, directly water will be going upwards. Okay, going upwards. So that is about the xylem. Now let us look about the phloem. Flow, phloem, flow, food. Okay, phloem, okay, food. Easy to remember. Both are starting with the fo sound. Okay, food, phloem. So phloem is what it is doing. Its function is in the transport of food. Okay, so when you look at the different components of the phloem, what are the components? Sieve tubes, phloem fibers, companion cells, and phloem parenchyma. Okay, let us see one by one. Sieve tubes. Sieve means what? Okay, sieve means just like we use some kind of for removing the stones and small impurities in the rice. So generally the mothers, they will be shaking it in one kind of a utensil. Okay, that one is having small holes. That is called a sieve. Okay, sieve is like a mesh. Okay, mesh, it is having a lot of holes. So this is also called sieve tube. Why it is called sieve tube? Because here what we are seeing, these structures, there are small holes here at the end of the tube. Okay, so it is a tube and it is having sieves or small holes at the end of it, therefore it is named as sieve tube. Okay, so sieve tube and phloem fibers, both of these are non-living. Okay, whereas companion cells and phloem parenchyma are living. Okay, so sieve tubes and phloem fibers. So if you look here in the diagram also, this center part, this cell, okay, this cell is what? It is the sieve tube, because you see end of that we have this kind of a sieves like structure, right? Here in this also you see there is a gaps, holes are there. This is the sieve. Now beside this one, what you are seeing, this cell, okay, this is having the nucleus. Here also you are seeing this is having the nucleus. Okay, these are known as the companion cells. Okay, companion cells, because they are having the nucleus, they are living cells. Okay, parenchyma cells are living cells always. Okay, so therefore companion cells, parenchyma cells, both of them are living, whereas sieve tubes, that is this one, sieve tubes and phloem fibers are non-living. Okay, so what is their function? It is allowing the transport of food. Now the transport of the food will take place in both directions, that is upward also and downward also. Both ways it will take place. Okay, both ways it will take place. Transport take both place. Now the phloem fibers, They are made up of sclerenchyma tissue. What are they made up of? They are made up of sclerenchyma tissue. It is a non-living tissue. Okay. Example is flax, hemp, jute. So what it is doing is the fibers, they provide a lot of mechanical strength. Okay, they provide. So what happens that the plant is able to get a lot of flexibility. You know, lot of ropes and all these things, bags are made from jute. Okay, they are made from jute. So what are these jute fibers? They are nothing but the phloem fibers. Okay, they are the phloem fibers. So they are having a lot of flexibility and strength. So they are very useful. Now let us compare, to understand better, let us compare the xylem and phloem. The most important part of the xylem tissue that is involved in the transport of the water and minerals is the xylem vessel. Okay. The xylem vessel is shown here in the center, this blue section, thick cell wall, because of the deposition of the lignin, and the direction of the transport of the water is only in one direction, that is from root to the upper parts of the plant. The other important one is the tracheids. Okay, tracheids. So both the tracheids and vessels are non-living because they don't have a nucleus. This is a continuous pipe. Vessel is a continuous pipe, whereas a tracheid is the transport is taking place through the pits. Okay. Now let us compare this xylem with the phloem. You see, this is also you can call as the xylem, the phloem vessel. It is known as the sieve tube. Okay, xylem vessel. You can call this a sieve tube, but you see it is a sieve tube because it is having holes like a sieve at the ends. Okay, so what is the main difference? The xylem vessel is a continuous, whereas the phloem vessel, okay, the sieve tube can also be called as the phloem vessel. Okay, it is a discontinuous, it has a sieve like a structures. Okay, that is the one of the important difference, and the direction of the transport of the food takes place in both the directions, up and down. Okay, we say it is a two-way flow. And in the beside we have the companion cells, okay, which do have the nucleus, the companion cells. They also help in the storage of the food. Okay, so now this is the how we will compare the xylem and phloem. Okay, next, coming to the concept of transpiration. This is important because as we were discussing in the xylem, the transport of the water and minerals is due to transpiration pull. Okay, we discussed, right? Transpiration pull. So what is happening? There is a loss of the water from the aerial parts of the plant, particularly the leaves. So when the leaves are continuously, they are losing the water in the form of water vapor. What is happening? Negative pressure will generate. Okay, so because of the negative pressure, what will happen? It will pull the water upwards. Okay, and you know very well that xylem is having the xylem vessel, and xylem vessel is a continuous pipe. Correct? From the previous one, xylem vessel is a continuous pipe. There is no partition. So what is going to happen? Due to transpiration, there will be a negative pressure that is produced, which is called the transpiration pull. This transpiration pull will pull the water from the roots to the upper parts of the plant. Now when we look at the structure of the leaf, this is the transfer section of the leaf, what you will see that the outermost coating, this is called the cuticle. What is it called? Cuticle. What is cuticle? It is the waxy coating. It is the waxy coating in the uppermost part of the leaf. Okay. So how transpiration is taking place, from where transpiration is taking place? It is taking place from the aerial parts of the plant, that is what is in the upper part of the plant, particularly leaves. So in leaves where transpiration takes place, it takes place by cuticle, but the cuticle transpiration, what we say cuticular transpiration, is very less portion. It is contribution is very less. The major contribution is coming from the stomata. It is coming from the stomata. What is the stomata? Stomata is the opening of the leaf. Here you see the openings are there in the leaf. Okay, so there is the stomata in the both upper part and lower part of the leaf. Okay, but more stomata is there in the lower part of the leaf. So when the stomata are opening, so whatever the water and moisture is there inside here, it will get evaporated. Okay, it will get evaporated. So this is the one of the major source of the transpiration through the stomata. Okay, also from the stem also transpiration can take place. Okay, what is that openings known as? They are known as lenticels. Okay, so in the stem you may have seen these kind of some design structures. Okay, if you look closely, they look like some these kind of designs. Okay, so in different stems you will see different kind of design. It may be like a round structure, sometime it may be horizontal with. So these are known as, these openings, fine openings are known as lenticels. Okay, lenticels. So what determines the rate of transpiration? Under what conditions the transpiration rate is increased? When there is intense sunlight. Okay, intense sunlight, then transpiration will increase. When the temperature is high, then also the transpiration will increase. If humidity is more, the transpiration will decrease. Why? Because when humidity is more, outside water vapor is more, and you know that the transpiration is a diffusion process. Is it osmosis process? No, it is a diffusion process. Okay, so diffusion means it has to go from a region of a high concentration to low concentration. But if outside humidity is more, whether water vapor can go from inside the leaf to outside? It will not happen. It will happen, if at all, at a very slow rate. What happens when there is the high winds? If the speed of the wind will increase, then the transpiration will also increase. What happens when there is a increase in the water content in the soil? Okay, if there is more water content in the soil, then what will happen? Whether it will increase the transpiration? So there is a more available water, then there is the more water is available for the transpiration. In our next class, we will see what are the plant nutrients, what are minerals and non-mineral nutrients, what are micro and macronutrients, and what are the deficiency symptoms in the plants. We will be covering all of these in our next video. Thank you.